We're going to turn it now over to Brandon Mancilla of UAW 9A. He's going to talk about what he's seeing in his membership.
Thank you so much. And I'm really happy to see so many people here for this very important conversation. I think recently with the UAW strike at the Big Three, we've also, aside from trying to rebuild a fighting movement, I've really started thinking about our history and where we're going to go forward from here. And during World War II, in the anti-fascist fight, I think we really thought of ourselves as the arsenal of democracy, right? That famous phrase from FDR that Walter Reuther took up. And our president, Sean Fain, has said that we are the new arsenal of democracy, meaning that we are fighting a class war, right, for liberation. Workers are our liberators, and our strike is that vehicle for liberation. And if it's happening in the United States through a rebuilding, fighting labor movement, then logically that should extend to the rest of the world and workers across the globe. And in this situation, as we're seeing labor, feeling the need to speak on this and find a way to intervene, it's really important for us to consider the fact that as of right now, at least in my region of the UAW, Region 9A, we're encouraging the locals to have the discussion of what that would mean to extend solidarity across the globe, especially with our, our Palestinian, workers and oppressed people in this conflict at the moment. So I'll tell you right now, in that process, we're seeing employers that we represent here, including NYU and Harvard, amongst many of the other higher education institutions where we represent workers. When workers have begun, or when the locals have begun to speak out and even simply just put out a statement calling for peace or a ceasefire, they're getting met with harassment, with doxing, right, revealing their names and their contact info publicly against their will, against their consent, and other forms of abuse. And that's simply for speaking out, right? As a labor movement, I don't think we can stand just, passively by and let this moment go without, number one, defending our members' right to free speech, defending our members doing their work to build solidarity with workers across the country and the world, and also for speaking on something that we inherently have a role in, which is as U.S. taxpayers paying into the military-industrial complex that has material interests, of which many of these administrators who are doing this doxing of our members are benefiting materially from. So I think that's the analysis that we're engaging in. That's the work that needs to be done. And I think this is a profound moment, I think, for political education and consciousness raising within our movement. And I think if we begin now to do that work through this conversation and bringing this back to our unions, I think at the very least we can do right now is begin those conversations and advance the point that we need peace in order to build the kind of world that we want to see, where workers are free. Thank you, everyone.